we are taking a closer look at the newly released South Carolina Ready Test scores. That's from the last school year. Now, the SC Ready Test is an annual assessment that's given to students in the 3rd through 8th grades for subjects like reading and math.
Just this past week, we told you how students statewide were performing, and tonight we're looking at how students in the largest school districts here in the Midlands performed.
WIS reporter Ashley Jones joins us live in the studio tonight. Ashley, I know you've been pouring through these scores, looking for where they've made improvements, but also where there's still a good bit of work to be done.
That's right, Judy. So I compared both R1 and R2's 2024 test results to previous years, specifically looking at the performances of 8th graders. And while it shows those improvements in some areas, neither school districts come close to meeting expectations.
While there's a lot to celebrate here, there's also, I think, an urgent call for continued action.
It's a challenge districts are being met with statewide, including Richland School Districts 1 and 2. However, leaders from both districts say they're making strides.
And we saw increases in every grade level except one.
The grade level R1 Superintendent Witherspoon is referring to is 8th graders. Taking a look at those scores, in ELA, a little more than 26% of students met the expectations, which is still an increase from last year when only 22% of those students met expectations. It was a different story in math, where only 10.5% of students met expectations, a slight drop from last year with 11%.
We will continue to analyze what we do, look at the data, and see what we need to do differently moving forward. Those things that worked, those strategies and supports for our students that worked, what we might want to tweak. But again, we saw growth.
8th graders in R2 scored slightly lower than R1 and ELA. Only 23.8% of those students met expectations in that area, which was an almost 6% decrease from last year. The newly named Chief Academic Officer, Jennifer Morrison, points to a change in how students took the test last year for the drop.
We changed from pencil paper testing to online testing. And generally speaking, like Richland 2 gets a waiver from the Department of Education, and last year they were unable to get that waiver from the Department of Education, and we didn't know until late in the game.
Looking at R2 math scores, only 13.5% of 8th graders met expectations, which is the same as the previous school year and an increase from 2019 when a little over 9% of 8th graders met those expectations.
I think we're continuing to recover from COVID. COVID was a big hit sort of across the board with end of course tests, but also middle school. And I think Richland 2, our students and our community are still recovering from that. It takes a little while to make that happen.
Morrison says this time around they're pushing students to read more to get those ELA scores up, and they're encouraging parents to push that task at home. As for math, Morrison says they're working on enhancing their math plan, which is specialized to meet the needs of students specifically within their district to continue to push up those math scores.
All right, Ashley, thank you very much.